parents and family members who have joined us. Our fourth graders worked really hard in preparing for our presentation today. You know this is a St. Mary's Sacred Heart School tradition that grade 4 presents our Stations of the Cross. Now the Stations of the Cross, as you look around the church, you'll see the beautiful statues here at Sacred Heart. These statues were installed in the church around 1928, 1929, and they come from a company in Chicago. But our Stations of the Cross are very different here at Sacred Heart because each of the stations is named and labeled not in English, but in French, because the founding families of this parish community spoke French as their first language and English as their second language. So if you went around the church sometime and read them all, they begin right over here on this side, and they go all the way around the church. Every Catholic church has a set of the Stations of the Cross. They're different artistic renderings. At St. Mark's, they're made of wood and brass. Here, they're statues. And at St. Mary's, they're carved plaster that looks like marble. So every church has a different style, but the stations are all the same because they tell us the walk that Jesus took on his way to be crucified and to eventually rise from the dead. They come from the Franciscans, the followers of St. Francis, because St. Francis had traveled to the Holy Land, and he knew that everybody couldn't get to the Holy Land. I've never been there. Father Jack's been, but I've never been. And one day I hope to go. But so that people could pray and meditate on the walk that Jesus made, St. Francis devised this way of the cross, the stations, the stops along the way. There are 14 of them. And today, instead of going around the church, our fourth graders are going to portray them here in the front of the church. So I'd ask you, there's no response for us except to sit and to watch and to listen. That's a different kind of prayer today. It's watching and listening. Okay? So I ask you to be kind of quiet today. Now, we have a really big blessing today as well. My friend, Mr. Peter Gay, down at North TV, has sent his wonderful cameraman here to film the stations. You don't have to. You have to trust me that he's here. Okay? You don't have to look at him. Okay? You got to face this way. So they're going to film the Stations of the Cross today with our fourth grade, and they will be on North TV, so the people in the whole town of North Middleboro can enjoy them this coming week, which is Holy Week into Easter. And I'm very, very grateful to Mr. Gay to do that. He's a big supporter of our school and a big help for us as well. So thank you so much. Let's take a few minutes now. I see our fourth grade is ready. Let's quiet ourselves. Focus up here if you could, my friend. Jesus is standing before angry people who are yelling and saying mean, hurtful things to him. They scream at him. Some of them tell lies about him, saying that he did bad things. But Jesus stays quiet, even though he knows he will be hurt. He knows that God is with him. Jesus even asks his Father to help him to forgive those who are yelling and telling lies about him.
Has anyone ever said mean or hurtful things about you? Has anyone ever told a lie about you? If someone did that to you, look at your heart and remember how you felt. Maybe you were scared, hurt, or even felt very angry. Show your heart to Jesus. Ask Jesus to make your heart more like his. Ask Jesus to help you remember that God is always with you.
The second station, Jesus takes his cross. When the soldiers put a big and heavy cross on Jesus' shoulders, Jesus doesn't fight or say angry words to them. He understands that he has to carry this burden a long, long way. And he accepts that this way will be very difficult at times. But Jesus also knows that God is with him. And he asks God to help him carry this heavy cross.
Have you ever had something happen that was very hard for you? Sometimes children become ill or a family member is very sick. Sometimes adults or other children do not treat us nicely. Other times we just cannot have things the way we want them. Show your heart to Jesus. Ask Jesus to make your heart more like his. Ask Jesus to help you remember that God is always with you.
The third station, Jesus falls the first time. Jesus is so tired as he walks along the road with that heavy cross on his shoulders. The cross keeps pushing into his shoulder, and the stones on the road hurt his feet. People yell at him and push him. The soldiers shout for him to move faster. And then Jesus falls. And the soldiers yell at him even more. How tired Jesus is. He prays, God, help me to remember that you are here.
Have you ever fallen while you were playing? Or tripped when you were helping someone? Falling really hurts, doesn't it? When people make mistakes, it is like falling. And when we make mistakes, our hearts can feel like they are hurt. Show your heart to Jesus. Ask Jesus to make your heart more like his. Ask Jesus to help you remember that God is always with you.
The fourth station, Jesus meets his mother. As Jesus walks slowly with the cross on his shoulders, a woman comes up to him. It is Jesus' mother, Mary. How sad for them to see each other now. Mary feels so sad because she sees how much Jesus is suffering. And Jesus sees the sadness that Mary feels. Even though they both know that God is with them, they can't even say anything to each other because they are so sad.
Have you ever felt very sad? Or has someone you know been very sad? Feeling sad can really hurt our hearts a lot, can't it? Sometimes our hearts are sad because we cannot be with someone we love. Show your heart to Jesus. Ask Jesus to make your heart more like his. Ask Jesus to help you remember that God is always with you.
The fifth station, Simon helps Jesus. Jesus is so tired that the soldiers know that he cannot carry the heavy cross all by himself. And so they look around in the crowd and see someone who looks strong enough to help Jesus carry his cross. This person's name is Simon. Jesus just looks at Simon and quietly whispers, "Thank you." Then they continue on the long road, carrying the cross together.
Deciding to help someone can be difficult for so many different reasons. You could be in the middle of something you like to do when someone asks you for help. Or maybe you just don't feel like helping that person at the time. Show your heart to Jesus. Ask Jesus to make your heart more like his. Ask Jesus to help you remember that God is always with you.
The sixth station, Veronica wipes the face of Jesus. Jesus is hot, tired, and sweating. His hair is all tangled. He's covered with dust from the long, long walk. Suddenly, a woman pushes her way out of the crowd and stands right in front of Jesus. She takes a clean cloth and gently wipes Jesus' face. Jesus is so thankful that he leaves a picture of his face on her cloth.
Have you ever helped someone? Have you ever done something that you thought was very small and unimportant? Like bringing a glass of water or juice to someone? Maybe giving someone a helping hand with a chore? You could have just smiled at someone who looked sad. Show your heart to Jesus. Ask Jesus to make your heart more like his. Ask Jesus to help you remember that God is always with you.
The seventh station, Jesus falls the second time. how very tired, weak, and sad Jesus is now. Even though he keeps trying to walk with the heavy cross, he just can't keep going. The noise from the crowd and the soldiers shouting makes him feel even worse. Then Jesus falls because he just cannot take another step.
Have you ever found something to be very difficult? You may not be able to do something the way you want, or you feel as if you keep messing up. How does your heart feel when that happens? Maybe your heart feels the way Jesus' heart felt when he fell the second time. Show your heart to Jesus. Ask Jesus to make your heart more like his. Ask Jesus to help you remember that God is always with you.
The 8th station. Jesus meets the women of Jerusalem. After Jesus gets up, he continues on the road carrying his heavy cross. He passes some women who are crying because they are so sad to see Jesus suffer. But instead of thinking only of himself and how bad he feels, Jesus tells the women not to keep crying because of him. He tells them instead to take care of others, and especially to take care of their children.
Sometimes it is easy just to focus on ourselves, about what is not going our way, or about the problems and difficulties we may have. It is very hard at those times to think about other people. How does your heart look when you forget others and only think about yourself? Show your heart to Jesus. Ask Jesus to make your heart more like his. Ask Jesus to help you remember that God is always with you.
9th station. Jesus falls the 3rd time. Jesus is so tired now that he can hardly take another step. It's hard for him to breathe. He had been walking a long, long time along this dusty road, and he has no energy left. He can't go on anymore. Then Jesus falls down in the street for the 3rd time. He's so very tired. Jesus asks God to help him. Jesus gets up again, even though it is hard for him.
When we have really tried to do our best and have not been able to succeed, it is easy to feel exhausted and sad like Jesus did. Sometimes others yell about something we do. Or sometimes people make fun of the way we do something. How does your heart feel when you seem to be having a miserable or difficult time with something? Show your heart to Jesus. Ask Jesus to make your heart more like his. Ask Jesus to help you remember that God is always with you.
The 10th station. Jesus is stripped of his garments. Jesus reaches the hill that is the end of the road he had to walk. Jesus knows that he will die here. Before he dies, the soldiers will do more to him. They pull off his long robe. Almost all his clothes are taken from him. Jesus asks God to help him to remember that he is not alone, that God is with him through all of this.
Is it hard for you to share or to give away something that you like? Do you sometimes want to keep everything for yourself? Do you ever let something of yours be the reason for bad feelings, bad words between you and someone else? How does your heart feel when this happens? Show your heart to Jesus. Ask Jesus to make your heart more like his. Ask
The 11th station, Jesus is nailed to the cross. How much Jesus hurts as the soldiers nail him to the cross. He hurts all over. He's tired and thirsty. He knows that he is going to die. But he looks at the people who have hurt him, and instead of saying bad things to them, Jesus asks God to forgive them. He looks at his mother and tells her to take care of others. Even when he is dying, Jesus is thinking of other people.
Can you think of a time when someone hurt you with unkind words or actions? Was it hard for you to forgive that person? Jesus knows that forgiving is hard to do. He will help you heal your heart and help you to forgive. Show your heart to Jesus. Ask Jesus to make your heart more like his. Ask Jesus to help you remember that God is always with you.
The 12th station, Jesus dies on the cross. Finally, after the long walk, after falling 3 times, after having the soldiers beat him, and after being nailed to the cross, after suffering on the cross, Jesus bows his head and dies. Now, this part of his life is over. There's nothing left for Jesus to give or to do. Jesus has given all. He has given his life for us.
Have you ever felt that you can make a problem better? Or that if you only tried harder, you could make the changes you wanted? Maybe you felt that when you did not try hard enough and something bad happened. Show your heart to Jesus. Ask Jesus to make your heart more like his. Ask Jesus to help you remember that God is always with you.
The 13th station, Jesus is taken down from the cross. Now, Jesus' lifeless body is taken down from the cross. There's no more pain or suffering for Jesus. All his pain is over. Mary, his mother, holds him tenderly in her arms. How very sad she is.
Is there someone you love who had died? When you remember that person, how does your heart feel? Show your heart to Jesus. Ask Jesus to make your heart more like his. Ask Jesus to help you remember that God is always with you.
The 14th station. Jesus is buried in the tomb. Jesus' friends wash his body and wrap it in clean cloths. They touch his body ever so gently, and then they place his body in a tomb. When they have finished, they push a very large stone over the entrance so that no one can go inside. Now, there is darkness in the tomb where Jesus' body lies.
Can you remember a time when you were very sad to say goodbye to someone? Maybe you had to say goodbye to someone you loved when they died. How did your heart feel? Show your heart to Jesus. Ask Jesus to make your heart more like his. Ask Jesus to help you remember that God is always with you.